Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another deep dive into the heart of Dallas Cowboys Training Camp, where the storylines are heating up faster than a Texas summer. The pads are popping, tempers are flaring, and the competition is reaching a boiling point, but not everything has been sunshine and touchdowns at the Star. We've got breaking injury news, some unexpected breakout performers, and a few jaw-dropping moments that have left both fans and coaches shaking their heads in disbelief. Whether you bleed blue and silver or you're just keeping tabs on one of the most polarizing franchises in the NFL, today's update is packed with must-know developments that could seriously impact the Cowboys' season trajectory. Let's start with the unfortunate situation surrounding Mazi Smith. The former first-round pick came into this camp with big expectations hanging over his head. After an underwhelming rookie season marred by inconsistency and flashes of promise that never quite turned into steady production, many were hoping 2025 would be his breakout year. But just as he was beginning to ramp things up in the trenches and show improvement in his footwork and block-shedding ability, disaster struck. Reports from the ground in Oxnard indicate that Smith suffered what appears to be a lower body injury during a goal line drill that saw a pile-up of linemen battling for leverage. Eyewitnesses say Smith went down awkwardly after planting his leg and didn't return to practice, eventually being carted off the field for precautionary evaluation. Now, while initial X-rays reportedly came back negative, the fear inside the Cowboys camp is that Smith could be dealing with a ligament sprain or strain that may sideline him for a couple of weeks or more, depending on how his body responds to treatment. The team is expected to conduct an MRI for further clarity, and fans everywhere are holding their breath. This couldn't come at a worse time for Smith, who not only needed this camp to solidify his starting role but was also under pressure to prove that he could be the anchor on the interior line that the Cowboys desperately need. The coaching staff had recently praised his improved conditioning and mental focus, but now that momentum is in serious jeopardy. And while Smith's setback is a blow to the defensive line, the show must go on, and that's where we pivot to a completely different kind of story, one that's electrifying the Cowboys' offensive unit. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been paying attention to Traeshon Holden, now is the time. The wide receiver, who came in under the radar and wasn't high on most people's depth chart predictions, has absolutely exploded in recent practices. Whether it's making contested catches in traffic, burning cornerbacks deep down the sideline, or showing elite body control on back shoulder throws, Holden has been putting on a clinic. In fact, during Tuesday's session, Holden made what many are calling the catch of camp, a diving, one-handed snag over the middle on a laser from Trey Lance, who's been showing more confidence in his progressions. That play alone sent the crowd into a frenzy and got the attention of several position coaches who were quick to huddle around Holden afterward, offering enthusiastic praise. The buzz is growing so loud that insiders are beginning to speculate that Holden could not only make the 53-man roster but might also earn legitimate reps in regular season action if he continues on this trajectory. His route running has tightened, his hands have been consistent, and most importantly, he's building chemistry with every quarterback on the roster. That's invaluable for a player looking to climb the ranks in a stacked receiver room. But Holden isn't the only surprise standout making waves. The Cowboys camp is quickly becoming a showcase for unsung talent rising to the occasion. Linebacker Marist Liufau has been a name repeatedly brought up in film room discussions and practice recaps. With his quick instincts, sideline-to-sideline speed, and aggressive pursuit of the ball, Liufau has been turning heads during both 7-on-7 and full-team drills. On multiple occasions, he's disrupted short passing routes, nearly coming away with interceptions, and he's been a heat-seeking missile on blitz packages. It's performances like his that are forcing the coaching staff to reevaluate positional hierarchies. Another under-the-radar name making some noise? Offensive lineman Brock Hoffman. Yes, the trenches have been in flux due to minor injuries and lineup experimentation, but Hoffman has quietly been one of the most steady performers up front. With Tyler Smith managing a minor knee issue and Zach Martin easing back into full activity, Hoffman's versatility to play both center and guard has given him a golden opportunity to shine, and shine he has. He's been pancaking defenders, communicating effectively on line calls, and has earned praise from offensive line coach Mike Solari for his professionalism and adaptability. Don't be surprised if Hoffman finds himself as a swing option on the interior line come week 1. Of course, no training camp update would be complete without touching on the quarterback situation. Dak Prescott continues to look sharp and in command of the offense, showcasing improved timing and decisiveness, especially in red zone situations. But perhaps more intriguing is the growing confidence of Trey Lance, who's had several strong days of practice. Lance seems to be developing trust with younger receivers like Jalen Brooks and, of course, Traeshon Holden. His mechanics have looked cleaner, and his deep ball has found a new level of touch. If this keeps up, there's a real conversation to be had about whether Lance could eventually push Cooper Rush for the backup role, or at least make it a more competitive battle. Now, we'd be remiss if we didn't return to the injury front because, unfortunately, Mazi Smith isn't the only player dealing with health concerns. Linebacker DeMarvion Overshown is still working his way back from last year's ACL injury, and while the team is bringing him along slowly, there's optimism that he'll be ready by the start of the regular season. Meanwhile, tight end Peyton Hendershot tweaked a hamstring during non-contact drills and is now considered day-to-day. Given the physical demands of the position and the tight battle among the tight ends, this could impact his chances of holding onto a roster spot, especially with Luke Schoonmaker flashing more polish in his route running and ball security. There's also growing concern over the health of rookie running back Nathaniel Pete, who left practice early this week with what the team is describing as a mild ankle sprain. Though not considered serious, every rep counts for a rookie trying to carve out a role, especially in a backfield that still hasn't completely settled its depth chart behind Tony Pollard. Speaking of Pollard, he looks rejuvenated and explosive, breaking off several long runs and demonstrating improved vision and patience behind the revamped offensive line. If Pollard stays healthy, he could be in for a monster season. As we continue to monitor the Cowboys camp, it's worth noting just how critical these next few weeks will be. Cuts are coming. Roster spots are on the line. And for players like Traeshon Holden, Marist Liufau, and Brock Hoffman, these moments could define their careers. The coaching staff, led by Mike McCarthy and defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, has been preaching accountability and consistency, and it's clear they're watching every snap with a magnifying glass. Veterans aren't guaranteed anything, and rookies are being thrown into the fire to see how they respond under pressure. So, what can Cowboys Nation take away from all of this? First, this team is brimming with talent not just at the top, but deep throughout the roster. Second, injuries are already testing the team's depth, and the response from those stepping up will determine whether this squad can finally break through the playoff ceiling that's haunted them for decades. And third, surprises are always around the corner in Oxnard. Whether it's a former first-rounder like Mazi Smith facing adversity, or a long shot like Traeshon Holden stealing the spotlight, this camp is full of drama, emotion, and the kind of storylines that will shape the identity of the Dallas Cowboys in 2025. That's going to wrap it up for today's Cowboys Training Camp report. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay in the loop on all the injuries, standouts, and locker room drama from Oxnard to AT&TStadium, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got plenty more to come as the preseason unfolds, and you won't want to miss a moment of it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.